Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Dill, it is a Sunday tradition, old as time. You're sitting down Sunday morning, cup of coffee in hand, and we have another Texas A&M win to talk about. Now, a couple of things that jump out to me. You go on the road to one of the best defenses that we see in this conference. Like, look, say what you will about Missouri, backup quarterback, true freshman kid. That Missouri defense is still really damn good. You go on the road, 464 total yards, averaging nearly 7 yards per play. The run game was working. The pass game was working. Though this is the thing we've been saying about Texas A&M for the last 2 months. I mean, they are so multidimensional. They have so many different things they can lean on to win a football game in this conference, and they leaned on a bunch of different things in this football game against Missouri. Here's the cool part about it to me is I don't even know if how would you grade Texas A&M out here? Like I'm thinking like a B or B plus, and you go on the road to a very quality team and win by multiple scores. It just tells you where Texas A&M is, and they continue to be steady Eddie, man. Like there are a lot of really good football teams that seemingly struggle from a week to week basis. Texas A&M feels like they're rolling. We got a lot to talk about before we do, and as always, a monster shout out to the Texas A&M fans. I don't know if there's been a fan base that's been more supportive to the boys over the last couple of weeks than this fan base. It's been a blast talking about this team. The amount of support's been amazing. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Much more importantly than that, again, subscribing to the channel, that helps the fellas out. Vibe check in the comment section. Like, how are we feeling? I'm guessing many Texas A&M fans who are listening to this are sickos, probably already watched this game back again. Would love to hear some takeaways. Let it rip. Appreciate you guys. Dill, I'm going to put you on the tee box. I think you have to start with this Texas A&M offense. What is the storyline that stood out to you the most?
To me, it was, I think they go 2 straight drives, no points, didn't really have anything going. And then on that third drive, I think they at least 5 plays in a row to Casey and Mario Craver. Like, that is
G-code.
what A&M, like, yeah, they can pull themselves out of the mud because they have 2 guys who are just uniquely talented, I think uniquely fit what they're trying to do on offense. And when they really start force feeding them the football, this team can get rolling, and then everything else just kind of felt like it opened up. And then you saw that like vintage A&M offense where running the ball well, Marcel getting involved a little bit with his legs, getting other guys involved like the tight ends, just a really good performance after those first 2 drives.
We said that in the preview. He's like, we got up there and we're kind of breaking down, all right, what's Texas A&M's plan of attack to beat this Missouri defense? Well, there's no clear pathway. Like, Missouri was top 15 in the country against the run. They were top 15 in the country against the pass. They were top 20 scoring defense. It's not like Missouri has a glaring deficiency or flaw within that defense. So, all right, how does Texas A&M attack them? Give the ball to the 2 best players on the football field. They'll give you enough plays to score points. Like that is the storyline. I'm happy you brought that up first because that's what we talked about last Sunday on the preview. Good things happen when Mario Craver and Casey get the ball. And Dill, to have those kind of players that can provide you that spark in these kind of games, it's a separator for Texas A&M. We're Michigan fans, right? We don't have a guy like that. Like, when we're stuck in the mud, we're stuck in the mud, and ain't nobody pulling us out. Texas A&M has those guys. I'll give my shout out to Colin Klein. I thought and part of it was the quick game to Mario and KC, but I think you knew this is a really hard Missouri defense to win vertically on. They're just really disciplined. They don't blow a lot of coverages. There's not a lot of clear throwing windows down the football field. And it's a really good pass rush. And Dill, you did move Trey Zune to center, so you were working with a backup tackle. With 2 NFL edge rushers that Missouri has, I think Colin Klein said, all right, I don't know if I want to be sitting in the pocket and trying to push the ball down the field. Like, Marcel Reed's average depth of target in this game was less than 4 yards, but the ball was out really quick, 2.4 seconds time to throw. Yards after the catch were absolutely humming. I thought Coach Colin Klein had a really good plan of attack against a very solid Missouri defense. What I want to put you on the spot here with is it's great out this offensive line. Trey Zoon kicks into center. Ruben Fothery, who's been a guy that at times has played good for Texas A&M, but it's never been all that consistent. Like when I saw Ruben Fothery trot out there, there's a little bit concerned. When you're going up against guys like Zion Young and Damon Wilson, how would you grade out this Texas A&M offensive line? Because I thought they were really damn good in this football game.
Well, especially by the second half. I felt like in the first half they were giving up a little bit of pressure, not running the ball incredibly well. The second half I thought was a really dominant performance by that group. And I feel like we have seen that with A&M being able to wear teams out a little bit, sticking with what they want to do and just kind of outlasting teams. I do feel like that's part of the story. And it's no unit that kind of does it better than what this Texas A&M offensive line does, because they really do get to teams in the second half, especially being able to rattle off.
Dude, that is such a storyline, by the way, and that storyline got a lot of national media attention because you're going back to LSU, but whatever they be doing in the weight room, getting these bodies right, like this team consistently steps on necks in the second half in the fourth quarter, and that obviously – you give a shout out to what they're doing in the weight room, getting these guys' bodies right, because they are consistently the better team in the fourth quarter. Hey, I'll give one shout out, Ruben Owens. Yeah, it's when Ruben Owens is doing it right, man. When he gets into that rhythm and he's seeing it and he's being patient and he's hitting it when he needs to hit it, he's got some real juice. Now the storyline is, can we more consistently get that version of Ruben Owens? Because you see it sometimes you see him a little sped up, a little bit rushed. I love the explosiveness that he brings to this rushing attack. And again, this is the thing we continue to talk about regarding this team, is how explosive they can be. It's really freaking hard, especially against a defense like Missouri on the road, to string together, 15 play, 75-yard drives. You have to have that ability to manufacture the 40-plus ones that get you down there, that get you scoring quick. And Texas A&M has that ability in ways they didn't have last year. And it'll be really nice to see Le'Veon Moss get back and kind of balance that out, because you still want to have that, we're going to beat you with a baseball bat and just kind of mash on you. But it's nice that Ruben Owens is providing that juice, that home run hitting ability.
Well, it's been nice that they've still been able to kind of like do that a little bit. And again, you don't have Le'Veon Moss. I think it looks a lot better once he's back kind of rolling. Yeah. But it has been nice to see that, like, that recipe. I mean, like, they didn't really step on this Missouri team until the end of the game. It didn't feel like, and you always felt like they were the better team, but that's still the style, I think, especially as this defense starts to play better, that I think really kind of works and is really consistent. And these games look kind of similar week to week, because A&M has they have kind of their blueprint.
Identity. There's an identity. And that was one of the things that had me buying stock in this football team back in the offseason. Is there's a pretty clear picture of how Texas A&M wants to win. They're just a better team than I thought they would be, because they are way more explosive than I could have ever
imagined. And Concepcion. I don't know if you could have possibly seen how good they were. Like, they're I should say.
And Marcel Reed has taken a monster step in the right direction, because this was another game where the ball was out quick. He's managing the pocket. He's not dropping his eyes. And when he does drop his eyes and become an athlete, he was killing you. Like that is, he continues. And he missed that one dig to Casey, and that pissed me off, man. That made me so mad. You know it made me mad. They put that graphic of him off target, 16% off target. I mean, like, he's running one of the best offenses in the country. Can we stop the narrative about Marcel Reed not being great? And then he goes out and scores a touchdown, which I loved. I mean, Marcel Reed continues. And again, to me, it's because I'm not going to say there's not some consistency that you want to see Marcel Reed clean up. Like, there are some things that he can still get better with. That's what excites me about this team, is they feel like one of those teams that there might be another gear for that team to reach. Because I'll take you to the Texas A&M defense. I mean, you gave up 207 rushing yards. Both running backs had over 100 yards on the ground. Mike Elko was not happy in the post-game press conference regarding that Texas A&M defense and their ability to stop the run. Here's what I will say, though. You had some bad run fits, and we said, hey, fitting the run is going to be crucial for Texas A&M. I don't even know if they were all that great. Damian Sanford, his ability to be a difference maker, a negative play producer, and get teams off schedule is massive. I don't know if you had that last year. And yes, is Damian Sanford still sometimes inconsistent? Sure, he is. But that ability to make game-changing plays, drive-killing negative plays is a quality of this quality that he has brought to this Texas A&M defense that's huge because one thing that we learned very, very quick is that when Missouri got off schedule, they weren't getting back on schedule because they could not throw the football. And I don't know if that's a shot at Matt Zollers. Des Ricks was awesome in this game. Will Lee was awesome in this game. They did a great job taking away Kevin Coleman. This was a very hard Texas A&M secondary to throw the football on. When you make them have to throw, and then obviously the other parts, blocking up Cassius Howell, which is damn near impossible. Look, it was not perfect from the defense, but I thought you made the plays, and they continue to do this, though. Situational football, right? What stood out to you the most from the Texas A&M defense?
I thought their back end tackle, that was the big thing. Because again, I can deal with being a little bit aggressive, giving up a run fit, but then Marcus Ratcliffe and Dalton Brooks, they need to get guys to the ground. I thought for the most part, they didn't let those 30-plussers go for home runs. I know they gave up the one big long one.
Yeah, Marco Jones almost hawked that guy down, by the way, which
it's
he's
very impressive. But I think the fact that you have your safeties now taking better angles, it feels like making plays they should be making. I think that's what they need to do because I don't want to see A&M go to this super stale, safe defense with their front seven. They're way too talented.
Yep.
Like you say it, a guy like Damian Sanford, Tyler O, those are guys who are in the backfield pretty consistently, it feels like. Let them go play that way. If you play that way all the time, you're going to have a couple of run fits that aren't ideal. But if your safeties can make plays, and I thought for the most part Brooks and Ratcliffe were pretty good for both of them.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I can live with some of those long runs.
I'll go two notes. One, game ball Tyler O, right? It's not him or Damian Sanford. Maybe
it maybe is Damian Sanford just because the fumble that was kind of what broke the dance a little bit in that second quarter.
I mean, and Dalton Brooks obviously had a few massive plays too. The game, and that's another thing. Again, what you like is so many different guys that you can lean on to win you football. You got a lot of playmaking ability. I got two notes. One, we knew Tyler O and his athleticism against this stretch and outside zone was going to be big. Boy, was it big. Felt like he was, even on the plays where he wasn't making the plays, felt like he was really, really disruptive. Here's the take I want to float out there. What if Dalton Brooks is putting it all together? Because we know this kid as an athlete, as a playmaker, it's there, right? We've been talking about Dalton Brooks for 18 months now, but it's never been super consistent, right? He's made a lot of mistakes in his Texas A&M career. What if we get more of that playmaking ability of this kid flying out around the field, banging bodies, forcing turnovers, but at the same time, what if we're cutting down on those mistakes? There is a real reality where Dalton Brooks is one of the best defensive backs in the country. He's just got to be more consistent. What if we're getting that in the back half of 2025? That's a fun conversation for a lot of Texas A&M fans.
If him and Des Ricks kind of can play their best more often,
Des was awesome.
Problem because Des was really good.
Everyone's gonna point to Matt Zollers going 7-22 for 77 yards.
There wasn't much there,
dude. There was not much there. What we said is that, did they have another guy that can beat you outside of Kevin Coleman? Can these Missouri boundary wide receivers beat you? And I think the answer was no. Will Lee and Des Ricks, they won that matchup against those Missouri boundary wide receivers, which allowed these safeties to get downhill, be a little bit more present in the run game. It's another thing where, Will Lee, Des Ricks, we know what they're capable of doing. Those two straight up NFL bodies. Thought they played well. What makes this team not only so dangerous but so consistent is kind of what you said at the top. There's a clear recipe of how they want to win. But even if they get out of that recipe a little bit and they have to just go score a lot of points and maybe air it out a little bit more, be explosive, they can do that too. There are a lot of teams that have one pathway to winning. Texas A&M's got how I'll float this out. I don't know if I don't want to get irresponsible, right? Because Ohio State looks a really damn good football team. Ohio State, to me, is the best team in the country. But I'll ask you this. How many teams have more pathways to winning than Texas A&M? Because I don't know if there's – I mean, Texas A&M can win you football games in so many different ways, and that's why they're sitting here 9-0. All right. Any other game balls, shout-out storylines that you want to throw in there?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. And that to me cements Coach Drink to Penn State. And we can stop talking about Mike Elko leaving. Sweet. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.